We're looking at partial products. We are looking at breaking up our math into some easier multiplication problems. So instead of looking at the number problem 13 multiplied by 20, we can look at it in a couple different ways. We can see that the number 20 right here, is that going to be fairly easy to use as our number to multiply with?
No.
20. It's really 2, and then we place a 0 at the end, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when we look at this, we're going to be thinking, what would 20 groups of 10 and 20 groups of 3 look like? So what would 20 groups of 10 be? Tanner.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
200. Yep, we can do 2 times 1. Oh, 2 times 1. And then take 1, 2 zeros and place them there.
Oh.
And how about 20 times 3, John? 20 times 3. 6, and then we have to place our 0, right? 60.
It's basically doubling.
Then we're going to go through and do our addition. So whenever we're multiplying by a number like 20, Carter was saying it's like doubling and placing a 0, right? Ethan?
Yeah.
Carter, Ethan, I'm just going to call you whatever today, I
Parker.
guess. Parker.
Call him
Don't call him Parker.
I'm
You're
small.
calling for my brother.
My name's Bob.
That's my brother.
Okay, Bob. Now, whenever we're multiplying by any number with that 0 on the last place, we're able to multiply like that's a 10 instead of just thinking about the 0. So we can do 2 and place that 0. Because when we have those zeros and the ones, it makes it really simple. Are we ready to do another one? 30 times 17. What am I going to be using which number am I going to use on both questions? Parker?
17.
I could use 17. Would 30 be easier to multiply with though?
Yeah. It's
So-
basically tripling 17.
It'd be tripling and then placing that 0, right? So I'm going to have 30 groups of 10 and 30 groups of 7. 30 groups of 10 is what? Carter.
No.
Bob.
It is 300.
That's the only time I'm going to call you Bob. You or Carter again. Thank you.
What?
And 30 groups of 7 would be Audrey. We know that 3 times 7 is 21. And then we're going to place our 0. And then we're just going to add. This is not difficult at all, is it?
No. We're taking a video.
Now what we're going to do is we are going to do our example for today's work, and then we're also going to do number 1 together. So if you pay attention, you'll only have 4 more problems on that page.
Easy.
So pay
So
attention.
there's actually 5 problems and you're all doing 0.
Right. Well, we're going to do the example together, and then we're going to do their number 1. And, I write it a little bit different. They write their numbers, like if we were multiplying 20 groups of 30s.
Whoa.
You see how you've seen that in your example ones,
Yeah,
right?
all the time.
And I don't care for that. I like to use 20 groups of 30. For a lot of people, they only use this word as multiply or multiplied by. But in our class, just like, what does this mean? Same value as, we learned that this means groups of. And if somebody later says this always means multiply by, you can use multiply by, but as we're learning, multiply by means groups of, and this equal sign means same value as. I have a little button that turns it into a laser.
I want to up
It's there. I did it.
Now, for our example, we're going to multiply 30 times 26.
22.
We're going to start with 30 groups of 20, 30 groups of 6. Then we'll add those numbers.
That looks like a bee.
It does kind of look like a bee.
Yeah.
There you go. Owen.
The first one.
Sure.
Top or bottom?
The top one.
Okay. 600.
600. And then 30 times 6. Sam.
180.
180.
Who's got it right?
Frozen.
What?
Oh, did it?
What?
Now we're going to add, going down, 0. And our answer is right here. Now this is, for anybody paying attention, this is Math Journal.
3.
Oh.
3.
Oh my goodness. Let me try that again.
300.
Math Journal 233.
Oh. Do it bigger. 9.
And it is number 1.
Oh, 1. What do you mean?
This is the number 1 problem.
Oh.
So we're going to go through and write out our problem, which is 70 multiplied by 18.
That looks like a weird X.
And are we going to use the 70 in both problems or the 18 in both problems?
70.
The 70. So we're going to say 70 times 10 and 70 times 8. And do you notice how our place values are lined up really nice and tight here?
Yeah.
Tight.
And what is 70 times 10, Caitlin?
700.
Place values are nice and tight. 70 times 8, Caden.
560.
Wow.
And how did you get that so quick?
Because 7 times 8 is 56 and the end of 0 is 560.
Nice.
Place the 0.
Yep, we place a 0. Because if we add a 0,
It's 500.
it wouldn't change, right?
Yeah.
Because what's 56 plus 0? 56. But if we place that 0 in the 1 and shift everything over. And why don't you just slide over? And then you'll be just fine, kiddo. Now we're going to add.
0, 6.
Peyton.
11. Wait.
Michaela.
12.
How very fast.
You're like 1160.
Nice job. Your job is to go through and work on 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to correct.